Good morning. It is Coffee Talk Saturday, and we get to look at these lovely puppies in the background. Hi. Anyway, we're going to talk today about something I'm super, super excited about. And honestly, this is going to be a very, very short call because my husband's not here. My kids are all right now entertained by electronics, but very soon they will come in and scream and rant and rave, and I'll have to get off of here. So, in the meantime, let me see if I can change the view here. Why does it show you when I put speaker view? That's so weird. Whatever, we're gonna keep it like this. Okay, so that doesn't change anything, so don't worry about it. Okay, so the thing I'm like super, super excited about is we have an answer. We have an answer to one of the biggest complaints slash suggestions slash comments that our challengers have been making to us for the last 7 years of us doing this. Amy's on here too, and we've been doing this together for like 7 years. And the biggest thing people say to us, and you can tell me if you have a different view, but when I ask people what can we do for you to help you, blah blah blah, it's always I want more recipes and meal plans. More recipes, more meal plans. And that has been like the cornerstone of this all. But as a coach, like we have so much to do and very, very little time to do it. So it's been kind of like a thing that I want to do for my customers more. And we do have the tools, but to come up with something new every single week is a little difficult, right? And coming up with meal plans all the time is a little difficult for me. And so I really haven't done it in the way I've wanted it to, right? And so Beachbody, which this is why we even partner with Beachbody because they are freaking amazing, has decided to come out with a new product. And yes, it's a product that you have to pay for, but it is so valuable, and I promise you're going to be running to me and being like, give it to me. Just give it to me. I don't care how much it is. I don't care if it's a couple $100s a month. I don't care. Just give it to me. It's not a couple $100s, but this is what it is. Whether you've bought To Be Mindset or Ultimate Portion Fix, which those products in themselves are amazing. They literally are changing all of my challengers' lives. They have changed my life. They have made my family healthier. They have made my husband, like he's actually dived into them and he's like really getting a grasp on nutrition. They really are changing the mindset of everybody that I'm working with. And they've changed my mindset too around food. And they've been giving us peace around food. And that in itself is priceless. But now we have the opportunity to pay in monthly. I think it's like $20. It's literally like nothing. And they will give us in return every single month meal plans, recipes, tips, all from the trainer, all from the nutritionist, Autumn Calabrese and Alana Molstein. I always say her name wrong. They are giving us updated information, up to date, real time, what's going on in the world, what's going on during the season, information to keep us on track. They'll be giving us assignments every month. And I don't mean assignments like busy work. I was just saying to Amy, I hate assignments. I was like, oh my God, I literally ran away from homework as a kid. Do not give me an extra assignment. I hate assignments. If it's not going to help me or someone else, leave me alone. I don't do busy work, right? And this is not that. This is something that's going to help keep you on track throughout the month. And they're going to be truly helping us with feeling at peace with food and giving us updated information. So like anytime a new diet comes out and you're like, well, is that something that I should try? And is it healthy? Like these women are going to give us answers. They're going to give us insight. They're also going to be like interviewing people who are like the top of the I don't even know how to say it. The like spokesman for that topic. I have no brain this morning. So like scientists and nutritionists and people who can really make complicated topics seem very simple for us. And they'll be talking about sleep. They'll be talking about water, which sounds like something that shouldn't be talked a lot about. Like, that's simple, just drink your water. But habit formation, all of these things are going to be given to us in a pretty little package every single month. And it'll be a subscription. So you sign up for it, you pay $20 a month, and you can cancel it anytime. It's not that anything with Beachbody, you can cancel anytime. But the value of this is huge. And then we as coaches will keep a little pod or a little group or accountability group together so that we digest the information at the same time and can talk about it at the same time. I am beyond excited to talk about this because I know that everybody is going to want to do this because this is the answer to our biggest problems. It is frustrating as a coach to not be able to give this information all the time. And that would literally be a full-time job. But guess what? These two are, it is their full-time job. And so they're going to be helping you and us stay on track with our nutrition, have new ideas, really keep it simple for us, and just make us feel at peace about food, meal planning, meal prep, all that stuff. So I'm very excited about that. I'm pretty sure we can sign up for it in November or December. Don't quote me yet. I'll give you dates soon. But the content is coming out in January, I'm pretty sure. So I will get you new details as it comes out. But make sure you are getting a hold of your upline. If you're a coach, get in the FAQs, really dive into this and learn as much as you can about it, because this is going to literally change our business and our lifestyle. And it's just going to be amazing for all of us, all around, coaches, challengers, all customers. Okay, so keep that in mind. But I forget the name they will be calling it. The Ultimate Portion Fix, I think, is going to be called Fix Series. I'm not really sure. I'm trying to find it. Ultimate Portion Fix Series, maybe. We'll have to get back to you on this one. But anyway, and then there'll be one for 2B Mindset as well. I think they're both the same prices. Super exciting. Okay, so my tip for today, I'm very excited about this. It's just going the extra step, because for me, when I plan something, I can really put like time into making a meal plan. And then me personally, I can make that meal plan and then it falls apart on me throughout the week. Things happen. I realize I'm not prepared. I realize I don't have the food there. My time ends up getting like just messed up. I mean, I have 4 kids. We're all over the place. I'm like a freaking mess all the time. So I realize that if I don't go the extra mile with my meal plan, sometimes it just doesn't even happen, even though I put the time into creating it. So these are the tips I found that works really well for me in all areas of life. But I realize, why am I doing this with everything else? It's literally changed my life in everything else, but I'm not doing it with my meal plan. So I just had this stupid aha moment, and I was like, duh, Ashley, you should be doing this with your meal plan. And this is what it is. I keep a calendar, okay? One calendar for everything in my life, all right? For the kids, for my husband, for my business, for my life, for doctor's appointments, for church, for workouts, everything, right? And for some reason, I wasn't putting my meal plan on there. What was I thinking? The thing I miss the most with my meal plan are dinners. So this is where I suggest to start. Write this down, do it, right? Number 1, write down your dinners. You have it right now. This is my meal plan. Put it in your calendar each night. Write what it is. And if you're awesome and you share your calendar with your spouse and your family, they'll see what's for dinner every night. Get out of here. You won't have 8 million people asking you, what's for dinner? What's for dinner? What's for dinner? What's for dinner? They'll already know. And then you can just train them. Go check the calendar. Go check the calendar. Go check the calendar. And you'll never have to answer that question again. After, you say that 8 million times, then you won't have to answer the question again. So put the dinner in the calendar, right? So you got that part. That's step 1. After you already made the meal plan, put the plan in the calendar. So your dinners are in the calendar. Second, go through the entire, okay, I don't have the 2 papers. They're not here. Oh well. I decided personally that I need to grocery shop twice a week. It sounds like a lot, but hear me out. I do the bulk grocery shopping on one day, but I pick out the things that I know are gonna go bad. Now listen, I eat a lot of fresh food. I don't do a lot of frozen. So if you do a lot of frozen food, you don't need to worry about this. But I do a lot of fresh food. And what happens is I'll do like a full weeks of meal planning and the food goes bad in the fridge. And then I'm like, I don't want to eat that. I'm like snobby, right? Don't be too snobby. It's a problem. But I'm pretty snobby about it. And so I'll like throw it away or won't eat it. It's really bad. Anyway, so I go twice a week now. And when I make the grocery list, I star the things that I should not buy now, and then I buy them a couple days later. Listen, when I go that couple days later, it's like a 5-minute stop because it's only a couple things, maybe fish, maybe a fresh veggie, and it doesn't take long. It's very quick. So I could go, I could send my husband, doesn't matter. So that's number one. Make sure your grocery list is really planned out. And if you have to split it into two, great. Okay, so that's your grocery list. Then I want you to take that list of dinners and write down anything that you can prepare ahead of time. And same thing, if it has to be 2 times during the week, great, because you don't want anything going bad, right? So 2 prep times. So in my case, I was always told to do 1 prep day for the week and 1 grocery shopping for the week. That doesn't work for me. So you have to figure out what works for you, and you have to really like get your mind out of the box. Like, take what people tell you, test it out. If it's not working, you got to tweak it. You can't just keep beating yourself up over the head and be like, it's not working, it's not working. Why can't I do this? Why can't I do this? You got to make it work for you and your brain and your lifestyle, right? So don't feel like a failure. Just figure out where you can tweak it, right? So for me, I have to prep twice a week, grocery shop twice a week. Now, that sounds like a lot, but honestly, it's cutting the work in half, so it's not as long both of those times. Make sense? Okay. So you have the list, you have your things that you can prep, delegate. Delegate as much as you can onto your kids, onto your spouse. I mean, delegate, really, seriously. You're not the only one eating. Everybody else is eating too. Figure out what the other people can do. If you have kids, figure out what they can do. Can they prep? Can they cut? Can they like boil water and make rice? I mean, seriously, give them something to do, right? It'll make them feel worthy. It'll make them feel independent. You'll be teaching them skills. Even if it's your spouse, right? Get them to do something and talk to them about it. See what they want to do. Like my one son loves to cook. He would do pretty much anything. My other one, not so much. My other child, she would rather like do nothing, but so I have to give her something small. Anyway, so that's the next thing. All right, so here's the extra step that I needed to make sure that I'm staying on top of my food list. I have to put 1 day ahead of time. Now, this is just my brain. Listen, if you don't have to do, if you're like organized naturally and you don't forget things like I do, literally, I'll pick up my phone. My husband will be like, what's going on tonight? I'll pick up my phone. I'll look at the calendar. I'll put my phone down and he's like, so what's for dinner? I literally just looked at it, but I don't remember. I'm like, oh, hold on, let me check again, right? And I look at my phone again. I have a hard time with memory, all right? So I have to put in either like whatever needs to be done ahead of time. Let's say you do have something already prepared. Maybe you have a meatloaf in the freezer from another time you made meatloaf and you know that you want that night, but you have to take it out in the morning to defrost. That is something I would totally forget. I would then go at night and be like, we're supposed to have meatloaf and it wasn't defrosted. I'm like, oh, screw it, we gotta order in, right? So put the take out the meatloaf thing in your calendar as an appointment, an assignment, right? Put an alert on it and make it look like that, like you have a meeting. I have a meeting at 8 a.m. to take the meatloaf out of the freezer, right? Have it on your calendar, put an alert to it. Do what you have to do. Always constantly ask yourself one very, 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 very important question. When you know you have to do something, like I have to make dinner this night and I have to pull the meatloaf out of the freezer, always ask yourself one very important question. How am I going to remember that? That is the biggest question you can ask yourself to not forget all these little itty bitty things. Listen, we're all super, super busy. So you constantly have to ask yourself, how am I going to remember that? My friends know me, and when they give me something to do, I will, and I can't like write it down at the time. I have a very big request of them that I ask all the time. And you guys are going to laugh, like Amy's probably going to laugh when I say this. It's always, can you text me that? Can you send me a message? Can you email me? I am never going to remember said thing. So you need to remind me of said thing in some way. And I can't just say remind me, because that's not really concrete, right? Because they might forget to remind me. So like, send me the thing. And then when I go to look at my text messages or emails and I'm sitting down, then I can write it out. If it's a text message, I will not read that text message until later. Even if they text me afterwards, like don't expect an answer, because there's a reminder up in there somewhere. And I can't look at the reminder if I'm reading my text messages, right? So have some kind of system to remember things. For me, that has been like a huge change to my life, like in the last month or two, trying to figure out how to set myself up for success with preparation. And it usually comes down to trying to remind myself of things. So taking that extra step of taking your meal plan, putting it in your calendar, however that looks for you, and setting up reminders to do the things, however that looks for you, is one of the biggest ways you're going to reduce food waste. It's one of the biggest ways to actually eat the meal plan that you create. And it'll keep you feeling at peace with yourself, because you'll feel prepared. And when you don't feel prepared, you feel chaotic, right? How many times have you not been prepared and you're like rushing around trying to find something, or like, oh shoot, I don't have lunch made. What am I going to eat? I don't know what to eat. And then you start like freaking out, and then you end up eating like 3 cheeseburgers at McDonald's, right? Like, we don't want to do that. We want to feel prepared and at ease with our meal plans. So, okay, that's all I got for you. 2 things. Make sure you get into that master series, or whatever they're going to call it, with 2B mindset and ultimate portion fix, because that's going to help us tremendously. And then secondly, figure out your routine of planning and then executing. Figure out how that execution is actually going to work for you. I would love to know how you actually do this in your life, because I'm always diving into how people's brains work. So if you have any suggestions, feel free to unmute yourself and let me know. Hi, Patty. Hi, Colleen. How you doing?
Suggestions on meal prepping? Did I hear that right? All right. So
I live with a guy who's super picky about food, like mega picky. We used to call him Emerald, because he cooks like the bomb. But he expects me to cook like that, and it doesn't always work out. So in our house, he creates what he wants to eat and marks it down. He makes me lists. So then I don't have to think about dinner. I just have to cook it.
So that is what works in my house, because as we all know, moms have like scatterbrain. We've got like everything going on, kids, family, school events that we've got to remember. And it gets crazy. If I don't have to think about dinner and what he wants to eat, I'm golden. That's
I love it.
Patty, my husband does the same thing. I don't pick out the meals in this house, ever.
No.
So who does the grocery shopping?
I do.
He does.
Okay.
I do.
Everything.
I'm headed to a shower. Well, first I have to wash the dog, get a shower, and then I'm off to Aldi.
Okay. All right. So what do you guys do for lunch? If you're not in charge of dinner, I mean, you are, Patty, you're in charge of cooking dinner. But if you're not in charge of like planning dinner, and I like your system, it's on the fridge, it's visible, always, everybody can see it. So that's awesome. That's like, it works for you, right? So you never have to question dinner. That's really big. It's right in front of you. Now, what do you do for lunches? Like, how do you plan your lunch?
I am so basic. So I eat the same thing every day. I do. I make my salad. And so I drink my shake on the way to work because I work during lunch hour. So I make my shake before I go. And then when I get home at 1, I usually eat an apple on my way home. That's my other fruit. And then I eat my salad when I get home. I usually have egg or chicken. I switch it around.
Awesome.
Gus, he has no idea. I keep him on the plan. It's his nighttime snacking that creates his tank. So he has a triple salad. So he gets 3 vegetables and 2 eggs on top of his salad every day. And I make him a sandwich because he's gone for so long that he needs just stupid carbs to keep him going. But
he doesn't
when
eat throughout that time of working then, right?
No, he can't. He only gets 2 breaks. So he eats his sandwich at 1 and his salad on the other. But then when he comes home, the kitchen is his oyster. He is just like all night. He's like, I didn't get to eat all day. I'm like, you did. You're fine.
Like, what about that food I just made you?
Like, you're on plan. He has this like need to eat food all the time. So
but you keep him, you keep him healthy as much as you possibly can. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is how you work with someone who's stubborn, right?
See the top of my cabinet there? Those are all the different containers of snacks that I have to replenish today. Like crap snacks. Goldfish.
So I love your sorry. I love your honesty about lunch, because honestly, I find that most people who are fit, who are eating a healthy lifestyle, do the same thing for lunch. They end up eating very similar to the same things. Now, but what she said isn't that it's always the same. She has like the same structure, but probably switches it up a little bit. So she has a salad, right? So the structure of what it is the same every day. But she switches the protein. She probably switches up the veggies once in a while, and maybe even the salad dressing. Do you switch up the salad dressing once in a while, or do you always?
No, I usually do 2 different ones. Well, 3. If I make my Caesar salad, that's in my fridge for like 5 days, so I use that first because it's homemade.
Right.
Other than that, it's usually Russian or ranch, and I water it down like the 2B way.
Yeah. So it's perfect. So if you like read between the lines, but not really, you kind of said it, you have a couple options that are regulars that you always have on hand, that you never have to question what it is, because you just have a couple options that you always stick with. And that works out really, really well. We can tell because look at her amazing shoulders and her abs when she stands up.
Right?
Not standing.
Patty, you're freaking awesome.
But the other thing I do is if I'm out and about with the kids, and I'm sure people have seen that in my stories, if we are hungry and it's near Chick-fil-A, I will stop and get Chick-fil-A, but I also go across the street to Aldi and I will get a salad, because they have those little salads that are perfect. So
those salads are awesome, and they've saved me so many times. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll stop in and get me one of those salads. So that's one thing I do.
That's awesome. Stopping at a grocery store, guys. That's been like my biggest thing that I tell people. Stop at the grocery store. You don't need to stop at a fast food restaurant. It's just as fast. Colleen, did you want to say something?
No, I was actually laughing because I kept looking at Patty's shoulders as well, going, damn, girl.
Damn, girl. Yeah, I'll take nutrition advice from you.
I do,
Patty.
I do the same thing. I turn around and breakfast every morning for me, like when I get up in the morning, I actually have a light that goes off in the living room as a timer to help me wake up and get my butt out of bed. I have a container of celery in the refrigerator. So I'm usually doing like 1 or 2 small sticks of celery with a little bit of peanut butter, because I can't work out on much food in my belly. It makes me nauseous. So that's usually enough to just get me going. I'll have my Energize. Right afterwards, I jump in the shower real quick. I make the same shake just about every single day. Right now it's pumpkin spice everything, but I've got all my boosts. I've got ginger, I've got allspice, and I've got banana, and I even throw in a little bit of extra cafe latte in it because the flavor is just perfect. Lunch, I do usually 2 things. I have a salad bar at work that usually turns into being almost the same thing every time. I put a little bit of chicken and a little bit of egg in it, and I always use oil and vinegar, or depending on their entrees, because they do actually have some really good food. I try to make sure it's whatever protein, not smothered in a lot of anything. So like grilled salmon, if they've got some vegetables, or if they have a side salad, I'll grab that. So I know where my 2 options to go for the most parts are. And there are the days that it's stress eating and you head to the deli and you get a small sandwich. But even there, I do spinach wrap, grilled chicken, lettuce, tomato, right? Try to keep it as healthy as possible. Those are my big meals. Dinner for me is actually my smaller meal, especially if my husband's actually in the other house down south. Then I come in and I'm usually cooking like, last night I did a poached egg, I had turkey bacon, and I have a stack of banana oat pancakes in my refrigerator. And I take one out. I'll grab one of those in the morning too. I'll just grab one, throw it in the microwave for 15 seconds just to heat it up. But it's like you're rolling up a pancake and shoving it in your mouth. But that's
awesome. But you're prepared for that.
Yes.
And I love the breakfast for dinner, because I find that if I'm by myself, which never happens, but once in a while, if I'm by myself, breakfast for dinner always works. It's so quick. Nobody's complaining. It's just you.
I'm like, it's perfect. It's not heavy. It's really easy to do. It takes 10 minutes.
Easy. Yeah, and you don't overdo it. You have something yummy, delicious, but satisfying. So yeah, awesome. Yay. Love it. Love you guys. Who's excited about Ultimate Portion Fix series and To Be Mindset series?
Yeah.
So excited about that. I'm super psyched. Okay, I'm gonna let you go. Amy's gonna go do her workout, and I'll talk to you all later. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Bye.